and it was a new car. But I crashed it first time out, and he didn't go with me racing. It's a car from the Truck World Championship, that white wedge car. That wedge car. I'm like, I can build that. And just got some white sheets of aluminum and made a big square box and out-qualified the field by a second and a half a lap twice in 50 laps.
Yeah.
And left for California 3 days later.
Wow.
I mean, I left from California to Tennessee 3 days later.
Wow. What did they think about that car?
Because that thing's crazy, right?
Well, no, he knew he could recover a lot of money if he sold it after I won that race.
What did the people thought about that car when you showed up?
When I got here, I stopped at Larry Shaw's on the way to Tennessee.
When you raced it in L.A. or California before you left?
Everybody wanted to buy it.
They didn't try to say, hey, it's illegal.
There were no rules. There was no weight rule.
Yeah.
I mean, I was racing against gremlins with wings.
Okay.
And imagine it was a show because there were no rules. It just had to be a stock car, which that's pretty open.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had people had wings. I put on Lexan sideboards, had a 24-inch rear spoiler. And I had a deal I could hydraulically raise and lower it while I raced. And as the race went on, I jacked it up higher and higher and higher, just killed it. That was fun. That was fun stuff.
So y'all buy some land in Tennessee. Your dad, why are y'all moving?
He actually was going to buy land in Oregon. And
why?
Because Air California is who he got a job with, and they only flew up down the coast. So he's looking for a place to retire someday. Okay. And then we went up and looked at some really nice places on some salmon lakes, and I've always loved fishing. And we're up there, and we went to a restaurant. I'll never forget this young kid was walking down the street with a salmon that's about as big as him over his shoulder. I'm like, that's me, you know. But then we went to the races, and it's like, no. I mean, it was just, it was like going back in time. And they didn't pay but $600 to win every week, and that's not what I've been keeping up with. Robert Smalley and the NDRA, and Smalley was from Kingsport, and like Newport, Bulls Gap, that's where all the first 10,000 win races kind of started. So I'm seeing a 10,000 win. I'm like, that's where I need to be.
That's where.
So that's when I told him, I said, I can't do this.
What's up out there, YouTube? I just riding across Arizona.
Pretty happy with just that.
Listening to L Jr. Download.
57.
Scott Bloomquist interview.
Drag racing with big 406 on nitrous and street racing guys that just have.
Never mind.
And then I had to make that choice. And he took this 57 on trade, which I was kind of jabbed about. And then I moved to Tennessee and cut trees for 2.5 years probably. They cleared the property and wore out about 6 chainsaws, and he took off 250 to make off the 37,000, which that was nice. He gave me 500 for 57. But anyway, so that's all I'm doing. It's 50 bucks a week. Now, still paying that off? Look at that. That's high. I get 250 a week. Then J.D. Stacy, the name J.D. Stacy bought Kingsport Speedway in Cordell, Georgia, and came in and was going to pay $2,500 a win every Saturday.
What up?
Okay.
What up, Chicken Truck?
That's a good deal.
Say hello, hey,
So we go up there. That's the first time we ever got into it. And I was trying to finish. I sold the car. There was that Martha right?
Hey, believe Scott Bloomquist died in an airplane.
So, I mean, I'm sure.
All messing around.
It was 2,500. And we pulled over the top.
That was my dirt track he rode. He was one of them.
Like, what are you talking about? Where's Larry Moore? So, which he was kicking Los Angeles. So it's like,
Micro down.
it ain't over yet.
Micro down, son.
When he said
Micro
fast time,
down.
I'm second fast time. And he just so happened.
Y'all probably don't want to listen to that. 5 mile an hour. Okay, driver. Oh no. But here we got a mountain to climb. Very free beside it. I know you'll find trucks again. Come on, let's go. Who we got out there? Shaky Town, Shaky Town. We almost into Shaky Land. Yeah, I guess we are. Daggone rough riding. Good morning, good morning. Just another manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday. That's my joke you can put on there. No. Anybody got a good joke? Yeah, this fucking idiot truck driver. There we go. See the brown lights of you, Mom. The Commodore too. Dixie. Bill, you on here? Mr. Meyer? So I wanna go home. Border Patrol. Look like it's all locked up. Nobody home. Yep. Huh. I know you. Hey, here's somebody. What did it say? I know you'll find trucks again. I'll hack up your name if I try to pronounce it. I did ya. I did ya. I did ya. Jonathan? I did ya, done it. Okay, gotcha. I guess that means good morning or hello, dear Jock. Am I hacking that up? I will speak. It's speaking no other language. This old dude. Come on, you high beamer. Come on, high beamer. Him hunting cones. So far, okay, Axel. Other than my foot's hurting like a devil. Like a devil. Devil lamps. So, got my truck washed back there at Eloy. Got Rain-X put on it. I just can't believe I left my new phone mount at home with anti-vibration in it, on it. I don't know. How's your day? You having a good morning? They're trying to make enough money. I don't want to make money. I'm wore out. I wore out, neighbor. I had a rough, Wednesday and Thursday. Real rough with my broken heel, but at least the chicken plant hooked me up though. They went above and beyond their call of duty and put my trailers in the door and got them loaded for me. I was really thankful for that. I was greatly thankful for that. I couldn't believe they did it. We had a trailer break down and it was took to Lufkin, Texas. And I was supposed to have a light duty a couple of weeks here. But it really wasn't too awful hard, but I had to stay up a while. It was a little aggravating. I thought when I got unloaded at Terrell, I was just headed down to Palestine to get to sleep all night and prop my foot up and get ready for this Calexico load, which I wasn't gonna be in no big hurry for it. You know, it was gonna be an easy, leisurely drive out here. But shit happens. All I had to do was bobtail down there, but I was tired. And I checked in with the trailer that I had, and told him I was, oh man, that ain't a Flying J no more. That ain't a Speedway right there was Flying J fuel. But after 30-45 minutes after I left Palestine to go get that broke down trailer, they called back in door 3. I'm like, I'm not there no more, I'm sorry. I said, but my trailer's there in the drop lot. Told them I'd be back in a little while. And I didn't even get to ask them if they would go ahead and load it. But when I got back from Lufkin, it was loaded. I was like, heck yeah. Can't beat that. PFG in Dallas. He was a little slow unloading. It's kind of messed up Thursday's routine, but I mean, no big deal really. You know, I got back to Palestine to get this load. They'd already loaded the other trailer. So all I had to do is go there, weigh in, drop my trailer, hook up to my I loaded one, scale it at their chicken plant scale, then go around and get my bills and roll out. And I pulled out down in front of them and went to bed. Midnight time. Hope I have an easy day today. But that was rough. Saturday and Sundays running. My foot got to hurting because of the way things happen. Still wasn't in no great big hurry, but I was able to take more than 10 hours off duty yesterday, but still. My right heel bone's cracked. I I'm in one of them Cam Walker boots, Bledsoe boot. Walking on a cane, which is that car wreck. I was supposed to be walking on a cane for the rest of my life, but I don't walk on my cane much anymore. I do now. Man, it depends on how far I gotta walk. If I gotta walk a long ways, then I'll walk. Okay, bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by.
This car, I think, was going to fall apart in a short time. You know, we had heavy steel tubes and all this, and never thought that it bent the rear end. And the race, you know, I dropped out of that race because I crashed with them. But so the next week I go back, and I wasn't having any problem winning every weekend. And I go back and I'm struggling. And it's like, what the heck? And I run second, and I mean, I'm a distant second, and it's just struggling. I thought something had to have happened when I hit those guys, and just went and did studying, looking at it. And the rear end had been bent back on the left side, so now I'm towed out quite a bit. And I'm like, oh man, you know. So I got this big steel slug, and you got it. We're on there to Porta Power, and just cranked until you couldn't hardly see out the other side, and bent it back, and then it started playing with bending it forward, and started playing with bending camber. I mean, I just started to get my mind opened up.
Right.
Never had thought about it, and found what was really happy, and got up and got to traveling and winning, but the shock thing, I get, you know, Coney shocks, they got with me, and they had this real simple dyno that was a pin. You know, and I actually still use the same style dyno because it doesn't have filters, and it shows you every little glitch in your shock. Mm-hmm. And just started studying, and I had plenty of shocks, but you know, you just feel them by hand. I had a big arm hand pull, you know, try to feel and just try to get, because there's no two shocks the same, especially back then.
Right.
So I finally got a dyno and got a library on all my stuff, and I made sheets and taped them up inside a cabinet in my trailer, and really got familiarized with that. Someone told me that Freddie Smith said, if he's got to have a shock dyno race, he'll quit. Well, it went long, he did quit because it went long. You needed a shock dyno to be able to compete. So, you know, but the chassis thing, when I was running a very right car, and Masterbuilt gave me a frame to run, and I got it home, and I put it together, and I got it on 4 jack stands, and I walked by just for the heck of it, and I just pick up on the bumper, you know, the engine's in it, mostly
Appreciate
one
that,
side of the
neighbor.
bumper picked up off the stand 2 inches before he picked off the other corners. And then so I checked my very right.
Drive wires clicking on and off.
Flex test the chassis, and since then, and I've been doing that was 85, and I've been doing it since then. And I have, well, I've learned, because I've checked a lot of other people's cars since then, and some guys are stiffer from right rear to front, some are stiffer up to the right front. And the percentage that they're stiffer, and I think, I don't know.
Bit of time. Prima darling. Way station is close dead.
learned just the difference that the car wanted. The cars that were stiffer, right front to left rear, wanted a lot of left rear. Obviously, what I thought the car stiffer from right rear to left front, you might have to run it right rear heavier. And you'd think stiffer that way, you'd run more left rear. And it just, so I just kept learning. And then with that master built, I think I welded 20 something and tubing in it.
You put more to it.
Just made, because it was so, it's like so much. And they were from up in Indiana and Brownstown area, and the tracks were really slow and short. And Tennessee has some of the most aggressive racetracks here in Tazewell, Bulls Gap, Atomic Speedway, fast, high speed, high bank. And I thought, this car is going to fall apart in a short time. So I welded all of a bunch of tubing in it, and then went in with that car. And it wasn't long. They pretty much had all that tubing in their car that they were selling. But still, it's something that I really kept up with and have kept up with since.
Yeah.
And I know enough about it. I can manipulate the handle of my car. I've got some things that bolt in. I've got some I can put one direction for different places and another for different others. So, you know, it's hard to believe, but it really change the race car.
Yeah.
You probably do it.
Sure. Yeah, we would go to contests and change the front motor mounts. You know, from single stand mounts that you see in cars for years to that big front plate. Take off. We take we have that crossbar on the front clip across the hoop bars. That come in and out during testing and trying to see what would work best. And some of the best cars.
Welcome to California.
Entering California.
You know, you'd be sitting in the car and you'd hear it go when they were jacking the car up and change the tires or something. The chassis twisted and the sheet metals buckling, bouncing.
So my best way the interior beside the driver to the left. So